Hi guys. So today we'll be solving the most asked interview question called longest consecutive sequence. You might have encountered this question in your interviews. So let's see what the question says. The question says that we have been given an unsorted array of integers and it will return the length of the longest consecutive elements sequence. So let's see what we have in the example. So in the example we have 100, 4, 200, 1, 3 and 2, and the output would be 4, right? So let's see how this output we are getting. So the explanation says that the longest consecutive element sequence is 1, 2, 3, 4, which we can find in the array, and the length is 4. Similarly, for the next example, 0, 3, 7, 2, 5, 8, 4, 6, 0, 1. Now let's see. It would be 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now let's see the longest consecutive sequence 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? So output would be 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? Now let's first try to write the brute force solution to this question. So the basic solution what I thought was, let's try to first traverse through the array. For let I equals to 0, I is less than nums dot length, and we'll store the current element, it is nums of I, in this variable nums of I, right? And since it says the longest consecutive elements sequence, so basically we have to keep a track of the consecutive elements. So by consecutive elements I mean, so suppose I have an element 1 in my array, like in example 1. So my next element 2 should also be present in the array, and the next element to 2 is 3, that should also be present in my array, and the next element 4, that should also be present in my array, and therefore the length is 4, which is the longest one. So we have to keep track of the sequence that we are creating, that we have found. So how we can do that? We can store the sequence count in variable score. Right, now we have to write a function in that way, that in a way that returns us true or false if the current plus one element is present or not. Now how we can do that is, we can run a while loop, right? Now if the while loop is true, then we will proceed to next current plus one element, and also increase the sequence length. Right, now we have to write this function. So what function we can write is, first let's create a function called is present, to which we will be sending array and the current plus one element, which is this, right? Okay, sorry. So now let's try to write this function. So how we can write that is, const is present nums num, and we'll traverse through the array. I is less than nums dot length I plus plus, and we'll see if nums of I equals to num, then return us true, else return false. Okay, let I equals to 0. Okay, so now let's see. So we got the score element, score increased as per the number of elements present in the sequence. Now since it says the longest consecutive element, so we'll store that in some max score variable, and we'll compare if like whatever is the longest sequence length, then that will be stored in that variable and will return that variable. So how we can do that is, we'll say max score equals to 0, and here we will be calculating max score equals to math dot max score comma max score, and then we'll simply return max score. Let's see if this is running or not. Okay, 2 test cases pass. Let's see other test cases are passing or not. Should pass, let's see. Okay, taking too much time. Okay, so for large set of input it's not working. Okay, cool. So we'll try to now optimize our solution. So how we can optimize? So we can simply create a set, because we just have to create a unique. So we have to find the length of the sequence. So that should contain unique elements first of all. So let's try to create a set. Let set equals to new sum, a new set from nums. Okay, this code will be kind of same only, because we have to find the max score at the end and it should return us. Now we will traverse through the set for const num of set, right? Now if we have to check if there is any number prior to that, then it should continue. Like suppose if I have 3 and prior to that we have 2, then I should continue. So let's say if set dot has num minus 1, then I should continue my code, right? Now next step would be taking a current element. Okay, this also we can remove. So the next element would be the current element would be nums of I, and we will be storing the same score as 1, because we have to keep track of it. Now how we can check if we have the current element plus 1 element in our set or not? So we'll simply run a while loop and do the same thing that we did in our previous solution. Current plus plus and score plus plus if the element is present. So suppose I am having 1, right? My current plus 1 element will be 2. So that should be present in my set. So this will be true, and then my current element will be plus plus and score would be plus plus. So score initially was 1, it would be 2. And then when it comes to 3, same, it will return me true, and then the current element would be plus 1, and the score variable would also be increased by 1. So how we can do that is, if set dot has current plus 1, right, then it should do the following operation, and then we will calculate the max score using math.max score and we'll simply return max score. Now let's try to run the test cases. Oh, sorry. Okay, why did I do that? The nums of I shouldn't be there, obviously. Sorry, const current equals to num. Sorry, by mistake I did that. I think now it should work. Current plus plus assignment, sorry, const. So run. Okay, 2 test cases passed. Let's see other test cases. Okay, we get good percentage. Now if you have a better optimized solution to this question, please comment down below, and thank you for watching this video.